Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Tyreek Hill has never been one to hold back, and as the Miami Dolphins head into the 2025 training camp, he's letting the entire NFL know he's not just coming back, he's coming back angry. Following an underwhelming 8-9 season that left fans frustrated and playoff hopes dashed, the Dolphins' explosive wide receiver ended the year not on a high note, but in a blaze of frustration. Hill, known for his game-breaking speed and vibrant personality, stunned fans during a live gaming stream when he hinted at stepping away from the team, perhaps even football. It didn't take long for speculation to run wild. Was this the end of Tyreek in South Beach? Would the Dolphins lose their most electrifying playmaker just as they were trying to regroup? Social media lit up, pundits debated, even the most optimistic fans had to wonder if something deeper was brewing behind the scenes in Miami. But Hill didn't let that narrative fester for long. He quickly addressed the situation, clarifying that his comments were born purely out of frustration, not a genuine desire to leave the team. For the first time in his professional career, Hill missed the postseason, and that sting cut deep. "What y'all heard was frustration," he said candidly, reflecting on that now infamous outburst. To him, it wasn't just about losing, it was about missed opportunity, unmet expectations, and the aching void left by playoff football. Hill, ever the competitor, emphasized his lifelong drive to win and his desire to see the Dolphins become a grittier, tougher squad. "Add some dogs," he said, throwing down the gauntlet for the front office and his teammates alike. It wasn't about abandoning ship, it was about demanding more from everyone, including himself. Statistically, Hill's 2024 season wasn't quite up to his usual elite standards, but context matters. He still racked up 959 receiving yards and scored 6 touchdowns, numbers that most NFL receivers would be thrilled with. However, for a player of Hill's caliber, those numbers felt like a dip. That regression, it turns out, wasn't just about scheme or quarterback play, it was physical. Hill played through a nagging wrist injury that ultimately required off-season surgery. While he powered through it on the field, the injury clearly impacted his performance and limited his trademark explosiveness. The good news for Dolphins fans, that wrist is now healed. And if Hill's tone in interviews is any indication, he's hungrier than ever to remind the league exactly who he is: the most dangerous wide receiver in football when fully healthy. At training camp this year, Hill has brought a noticeably different energy. He's focused, locked in, and determined to rewrite the narrative that followed him at the end of 2024. In front of reporters, Hill spoke with a sense of maturity and accountability that resonated. "I've been competitive my whole life. That's how my grandparents raised me," he said, emphasizing the values instilled in him from a young age. More than just a player, he's now fully embracing his role as a leader both in the locker room and in the broader football community. He specifically acknowledged how his actions and words are perceived by younger fans, many of whom idolize him. "I know that there are little kids that look up to me," he admitted. That awareness is shaping a new version of Tyreek Hill, one that's still fiery, but more measured in how that fire is channeled. That's not to say he's gone soft. Not by a long shot. Hill regrets the way he handled the end of last season, calling his public rant a mistake in hindsight. "As a leader, I just need to do better," he said, sounding both humbled and motivated. The passion was never the problem, it was the outlet. Now, rather than letting his emotions spill onto Twitch or social media, he's bringing that same intensity to the practice field, the weight room, and the meeting room. Hill is leading by example, showing younger teammates what commitment looks like when the spotlight isn't on. He's not just talking about being better, he's proving it with every sprint, every rep, and every route. And for Dolphins fans still smarting from last year's disappointment, that shift in mindset might be the most encouraging development of all. Despite off-season whispers about potential trades fueled by his hefty $27.75 million 2025 salary and lack of guaranteed money, Hill has made one thing crystal clear: he's all in for Miami. He's not looking for a way out, he's looking for a way through. In fact, he's been training harder than ever, spending time with his father to push himself physically and mentally. "I've been busting my tail," Hill said, noting that he's eager to see the results of that grind once the season begins. The wideout seems to be on a mission not just to bounce back statistically, but to evolve into the best version of himself. "I haven't given my best version of Tyreek yet," he declared with confidence. That's a frightening thought for defenders across the league. Because even a nod at his best, Hill is still one of the most unguardable players in football. Hill's age has become a talking point among critics, with some wondering if the 31-year-old is entering the twilight of his career. To those doubters, Hill had a simple response: "I haven't lost a step." Watching him cut, accelerate, and blow past defenders in training camp, it's hard to argue otherwise. If anything, his veteran experience has added layers to his game: better route running, smarter play recognition, and a deeper understanding of defensive tendencies. Speed may be his calling card, but it's his ever-expanding football IQ that could extend his career even further. He's no longer just a blur on the outside. He's the strategic weapon who knows exactly when and how to strike. The Dolphins are counting on that evolution to help them make a legitimate playoff push this season, and Hill seems determined to deliver. As the 2025 season approaches, Hill's presence looms large in Miami's locker room. He's no longer the flashy newcomer brought in to supercharge the offense. He's the heartbeat of this team. Both vocally and by example, the younger players gravitate toward him, not just because of his highlight reel plays, but because of his authenticity. Hill has learned the value of humility, and he's sharing that lesson with teammates every day. He knows what it feels like to be on top of the world and what it feels like to fall short. That perspective is powerful, and it's shaping the Dolphins into a more grounded, focused unit. Whether it's mentoring rookie receivers or challenging the defense in practice, Hill is using every moment to raise the standard. His legacy is no longer just about speed, it's about impact, on and off the field. All signs point to a potential redemption arc for both Hill and the Dolphins in 2025. The team has made key off-season moves, and there's a renewed sense of urgency within the organization. But no piece is more critical to their success than a fully engaged Tyreek Hill. His connection with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa will once again be a focal point. And if the two can rediscover their early 2023 chemistry, Miami could find itself back in playoff contention quickly. Hill's ability to stretch the field and create mismatches opens up the entire offense, giving the Dolphins a chance to dictate terms instead of react. With a retooled mindset and a healthier body, Hill is primed to remind everyone why he's still one of the most feared weapons in the game. And this time, it's not just about speed, it's about purpose. So now, the stage is set. Training camp is in full swing, the pads are popping, and the countdown to kickoff is officially on, and standing at the center of it all is Tyreek Hill. Eyes laser-focused, voice steadier than ever, and legs ready to burn turf. He's issued a warning to the league, not out of arrogance, but from the fire of unfinished business. Miami may have faltered last season, but Hill believes in this team, this city, and most importantly, in himself. The NFL would be wise to take notice. A motivated Tyreek Hill is a nightmare for any secondary, and this version of him might just be the most dangerous yet. The Dolphins' wideout isn't just chasing stats, he's chasing greatness. And if his words and actions in camp are any indication, he's closer than ever to catching it. Buckle up, the cheetah is on the hunt again, still with us. Then show some love, hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? It's the kind of news that sends shockwaves through the NFL fanbase, especially in South Florida. After weeks of speculation, rumors, and whispers behind the scenes, it's finally official. Dillon Gabriel is the new quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Yes, you heard that right. The electric, left-handed phenom out of Oklahoma is heading to the Sunshine State, and Dolphins fans are already buzzing with excitement. While this may come as a surprise to some, for those who followed Miami's recent front office moves and their interest in dynamic, mobile quarterbacks, the writing may have been on the wall. Gabriel, known for his explosive arm and ability to extend plays with his legs, is stepping into one of the most high-pressure roles in professional football. And yet, there's a feeling, just a whisper for now, that this move could be the spark Miami needs to take their offense to the next level in the AFC. Let's be real, no one expected this to happen so soon. For months, the Dolphins' quarterback room looked pretty set, with Tua Tagovailoa holding down the fort and speculation around potential backups or draft picks floating through the rumor mill. But Dillon Gabriel, that wasn't on most people's radar. Sure, scouts have raved about his poise under pressure and ability to deliver bombs downfield, but few thought Miami would pull the trigger this quickly. That's what makes this move so intriguing. It raises questions. Is this a changing of the guard? Is Tua on the way out? Or is this just about depth and competition? One thing's for sure, the Dolphins are making a statement. They're not afraid to stir the pot, take risks, and bring in a QB who could potentially redefine their offense. Gabriel's style is fearless, unconventional, and full of energy, exactly what this franchise might need to shake things up. Of course, it didn't take long for social media to explode. Dolphins fans took to Twitter, Instagram, and every platform imaginable to celebrate or at least react to the announcement. Hashtags like #GabrielEra and #LEFTY Lightning started trending almost instantly. Some fans are already declaring him the future of the franchise, while others are pumping the brakes, reminding everyone that the NFL is a different beast from college football. Still, it's hard not to get swept up in the hype Gabriel brings. With him a highlight reel that's tailor-made for YouTube and TikTok. Long throws on the run, clutch touchdowns, and that unmistakable southpaw swagger. It's a brand of football that feels fresh and unpredictable. Whether or not he starts immediately, the buzz around this signing is undeniable. People are talking, analysts are debating, and the Dolphins are right at the center of the conversation for all the right, or maybe controversial reasons. The timing of the move raises even more eyebrows. With training camp just around the corner, the Dolphins clearly didn't want to wait. They're throwing Gabriel into the fire early, giving him a shot to learn the playbook, build chemistry with the receivers, and show the coaching staff what he's made of. That urgency suggests they see real potential in him, not just as a backup or developmental piece, but maybe as someone who could compete for the starting job sooner than expected. It also sends a message to the rest of the roster. No one's position is guaranteed. Competition is the name of the game. For Gabriel, it's an opportunity to prove he belongs at the highest level. And for the Dolphins, it's a chance to test a bold strategy, betting on talent, upside, and a bit of that left-handed magic that so rarely comes around in the NFL. What makes Gabriel such a fascinating player isn't just his stats, it's the attitude he brings. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, as if he's constantly trying to prove doubters wrong. That mentality might be exactly what the Dolphins need right now. This is a team that's been dangerously close to breaking through in the AFC, but something always seems to hold them back. Injuries, inconsistency, missed opportunities. Maybe Gabriel is the wild card. A lefty quarterback who's unafraid to take chances, challenge defenses, and play with a little flair. Imagine him throwing to Tyreek Hill with Jalen Waddle streaking across the field. That kind of explosiveness could make the Dolphins one of the most entertaining teams in the league. And while it's still early, the mere idea of it is enough to send shivers down the spines of opposing defensive coordinators. Let's not forget how rare it is to find a true left-handed quarterback these days. It's almost like a lost art in the NFL. Steve Young, Michael Vick, those are the names that come to mind. And while it's way too soon to compare Gabriel to legends, his style definitely evokes a sense of nostalgia mixed with modern flair. His footwork is crisp, his vision sharp, and when he decides to launch the ball downfield, there's a certain elegance to it. The spiral comes out different, the angles are unique, and defenses have to adjust in ways they're not used to. That alone gives him an edge. Coaches often talk about that factor, that intangible quality that makes a player special. Gabriel might just have that. You can see it in his eyes when he steps onto the field. He's not rattled. He's not intimidated. He wants the moment. He embraces it. And now, Miami's betting that his moment is now. Still, there are valid concerns. The NFL is littered with stories of college stars who couldn't make the jump. Speed, size, complexity, all of it increases tenfold. Gabriel will have to adjust quickly, mentally and physically. The pocket closes faster, the reads get harder, the windows get tighter. But there's also something about his game that feels adaptable. He's dealt with adversity, transferred schools, battled injuries, and still put up big numbers. That resilience might be his greatest asset in this next chapter. Miami's coaching staff will need to be smart, designing packages that suit his strengths, easing him into the system, and letting him grow. It's not about throwing him to the wolves. It's about nurturing a unique talent and giving him the tools to succeed. Because if they get this right, if Gabriel truly pans out, the Dolphins could be looking at their quarterback of the future, one who breaks the mold in every possible way. In the locker room, reports suggest the players are intrigued, not threatened, not skeptical, just curious. Gabriel has that effect. He's not a loud guy, but he leads by example. He's a film junkie, a grinder, the kind of guy who stays after practice to run routes with receivers and tweak his footwork. That work ethic resonates, especially in a professional environment where every inch matters. Veteran players respect that, and it's already being said quietly, but consistently, that Gabriel has impressed with how quickly he's picking up the offense. He's asking the right questions, showing command in the huddle. And most importantly, earning trust. That's huge. Chemistry can't be faked. It's built over time, rep by rep, and if he's already laying that foundation, then things could get real interesting real soon. We may be watching the beginning of a story that Dolphins fans will be talking about for years. Meanwhile, the national media is catching on. Sports networks are running highlight reels. Talking heads are debating the move, and analysts are split down the middle. Some think it's a genius acquisition. Others see it as a risky gamble. But isn't that the nature of the NFL? High stakes, bold moves, and the pursuit of greatness? Dillon Gabriel represents all of that. He's not the safest pick, but he might be the most exciting. And in a league that thrives on momentum and narrative, excitement counts for a lot. The Dolphins are putting themselves back in the spotlight not because they made a flashy trade or overpaid in free agency, but because they made a calculated bet on a player who could redefine their identity. Whether it works or not remains to be seen. But one thing's certain, the Dolphins just became one of the most intriguing teams to watch in 2025. So what comes next? That's the million-dollar question. Will Dillon Gabriel start week 1? Will he spend a season learning behind Tua? Or will injuries, matchups, or pure performance throw him into the fire sooner than expected? The Dolphins' schedule isn't forgiving, and the AFC is stacked with powerhouse teams and elite quarterbacks, but maybe that's exactly the environment where Gabriel thrives when the odds are stacked, when the pressure is sky high. As the season inches closer, every practice snap, every preseason rep, and every locker room whisper will add fuel to the fire. For now, this is just a beginning, a promising one. A left-handed quarterback with a cannon for an arm, a fearless mindset, and a shot to make history in Miami. Whether it ends in glory or heartbreak, one thing's for sure, the Dillon Gabriel era has officially begun, and the NFL world better be paying attention. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!